Hey everybody, welcome to Buzzworthy Business, brought to you by Seaside Bank and Trust. I'm your host, Jesse Stakes, and today I have Göran Fredrikson from Waves4Power. Göran, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Nice to be here.
So tell us about Waves4Power. What do you guys do?
Well, Waves4Power is a company that converts the energy of ocean waves to electricity. We've been in business since 2012. We've tested a system outside the coast of Norway where waves are very large. And the interesting thing about ocean waves is that they're there all the time and hold a lot of energy.
Well, and I know a lot of people, when they think about renewable energy or they think about different ways to harness energy, they always think about solar, they think about wind, but they don't really think about what's probably the largest source of energy on the planet in the ocean.
That's correct, yeah. Ocean waves actually hold over 990 times more energy than the Earth is needing, meaning all the electricity, all the fossil fuel, everything could come from the ocean if we could harvest it. And the challenge is that there are huge differences in the waves. You remember a day when there are no waves, and remember the day when we have a hurricane and waves may be 25, 50 feet high. That big variation is the challenge.
So I guess the question would be, how do you store it then? I mean, I would imagine on some days when you have a tremendous amount of energy coming from large waves, if you could harness that and store it, then on your calm days you wouldn't have as much to worry about.
Well, that's the problem with all renewable energy, wind, solar, and waves, is that you can't really store it. So you need to combine them all into a system, because the beauty of waves and wind is that they're usually out of phase. So on a windy day, yeah, the waves may be there, but they come after the wind. When the wind stops, the waves continue. And so it's not a matter of using one system or the other, it's a matter of combining them. And waves, up to this point, has not been commercialized anywhere. And that's what we're trying to do now.
Wonderful. So you guys are actually trying to create a commercial application to where it's essentially going to become part of a power grid for a country or for a city, correct?
You got it, yes. Waves4Power is a Swedish company, but we have a subsidiary here in the US, and on the US West Coast, especially Northern California all the way up to Alaska, has a beautiful wave climate. And that's where we focus on the North American market right now, is to develop in this area. And with what is happening now with the new bill from the government, that more emphasis on renewable energy will be available, we see a great opportunity. Department of Energy, as a matter of fact, I'm going out to Alaska in just about a month's time to meet with potential customers out there that will find money that is available from Department of Energy to develop these systems.
So I know that there's a lot of things that go into the ocean that you end up, the salt water, the wind, the water itself creates damage. What's the sustainability of these systems? Are they constantly having to be replaced, or are they pretty durable?
They are pretty durable, but you're absolutely right. The challenge is to get something that can handle the salt water, can handle the strength of the waves. We are looking at something different. We are building the next generation system out of high density polyethylene, plastic.
Okay.
And people ask us, how in the world can you put a plastic system that will survive? Well, HDPE is the black plastic that you use for water lines.
Yes.
You see them all the time. They've been in the ocean for 50, 60 years. And our material supplier, they promise at least a 25-year life expectancy out of this system. So the buoy, the main structure, will be out of plastic, and it will have no corrosion or such problems with them.
So I know we're kind of just scratching the surface of everything just because of the time that we have, but when you install a system like this, or when somebody purchases one from your company, and they what does maintenance look like? If something does break down, do they have to call somebody at your company, or are they trained on it? What does that look like?
Absolutely, yeah. There is maintenance programs involved, and we will supply a turnkey system, but we'll also supply the services, the maintenance services, and the continuous upgrade. You know, it's just like you hear about the Tesla cars today.
Yes.
That you can upgrade online, so to say.
Sure.
We will have similar facilities with our system, both physical, where we have maintenance people come get on board on the buoys, and we'll have systems that can be updated, from a distance via internet.
Absolutely. Well, and I like what you said earlier in our conversation here, where you're looking for more, multiple sources of power, not necessarily focused on one and saying this is the future and this is the only thing we're ever going to need. Because you're right. I think that there's a need for multiple sources, and it's just not it's eliminating the reliability on one single thing anywhere.
Yeah. And like I said before, the beauty of it is that they're out of sync. On a sunny day, it may not be windy. Mm-hmm. On a windy day, there may not be all that many waves. On a wavy day, yes, there may not be wind or solar. So it is the combination. But the most predictable of the three is actually the waves, because what happens out in the ocean, a storm in the mid-Atlantic will move the waves, and the wave will keep on rolling towards the coast. You usually can measure it 2-3 days in advance, so you know what's coming.
Sure.
It's more predictable, therefore, than wind and solar that may change very quickly, so to say.
So what about our folks that are thinking about, all right, I don't live near an ocean, I live on a lake, or I live in a river? Are there applications for inland bodies of water as well?
There is a difference between systems that can handle the horizontally moving water,
okay,
like streams and the currents. Our system cannot handle that. We can take care of the vertical motion only. Okay. But you're right. That's another system that we can add on here. It's called tidal systems, mm-hmm, and they also have a great future, because they are in many ways even more predictable. If it's a tidal system, you know what the tide based on the moon. You know that years in advance what
Absolutely.
It's going to be. But the sites where you can utilize tidal systems are a lot fewer than the wave system. We have to remember the ocean, 2/3 of the earth,
yes, is
covered by ocean. And you asked about people, 40% of the world population live within 100 miles from a coastal area.
That's amazing.
So there are a lot of opportunities there.
I can tell that you're absolutely passionate about this. What drove you to do this?
Well, it's a long story. My father actually started to look at this. An inventor came to him in the mid-'70s and said he had an idea for a wave power system. And my father got involved with it. This was right after the oil crisis.
Yes.
So it was big interest then. Then oil prices came down. Nothing really happened till early 2000 when my brother, who lives in Seattle, and I started a company called Aqua Energy. We built that, tested some devices. We lost it to an investor, but got a new opportunity in 2009. At that time, we tested a new system in Sweden. That system said yes to us. It said this works, and that's why we started Waves4Power in 2012.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
As I said, I know we just scratched the surface, but if people want to learn more about you and your company, where can they find you?
Our website is waves4power.com. Waves 4-power.com, and then of course they're perfectly welcome to come and ask me questions.
Excellent.
My email address, I guess, will be available somehow.
It will. We really appreciate you joining us, and
My
thank
pleasure.
you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
If you guys would like to learn more about Huron and Waves4Power, you can join us at jacksonvillebuzz.com. I'm your host, Jesse Stakes, and we'll catch you guys next time.